Here we go, the last one. Stick around. Hello and welcome to what is the last ever Big, the Classic and the Indie. I thought I'd end it at 10 episodes because I just don't want to keep doing this kind of thing forever. But don't worry, I will come back in December with another triple threat review show. But for now, let's enjoy the last ever Big, the Classic and the Indie. So, without any further delay, let's get on with the reviews and then the shout-outs. Let's do it. Okay, so for this month's Big, it is Knock Knock. Written, directed by Eli Roth, starring Keanu Reeves, Anna de Armas and Lorenza Izzo. This is an erotic horror thriller about Keanu Reeves, who plays a family man in this film, who's, doing some work whilst his family take a break somewhere, and he eventually will join them. Till, one night when it's pissing it down, he sees these two young women that are lost on their way to a party and what have you. He's a nice guy and helps them out, and then they end up seducing him. He ends up having a freeway. They end up torturing him for fun. So, what did I like about this film? Well, I liked a lot on this film. It been the first film I've seen in ages that was directed by Eli Roth. I also thought Keanu Reeves, this was sort of out of his comfort zone because, we used to see Keanu Reeves kicking ass, beating the bad guys and that. In this, he was completely helpless. The girls manipulated him. And another thing I liked about this film was Ana de Armas and Lorenza Izzo. Whew, my God, they are both a bunch of hotties. And, yeah, they're just, so fit and sexy and that. And they do use their charms to manipulate him, and then next thing you know, they start to twist things around by telling him that that they're underage and that and stuff. They also I like some of the small comedic humour in this too. There is a small bit of comedy in there, but it's meant to be serious, a thriller and that. Dislikes on this, I would say, are, not enough backstory on the two girls that tortured Keanu Reeves. I mean, I don't know what their motive was, why they were doing it, but turns out that they do this to various men. Another thing I disliked was the alternate ending. Not that I didn't like the alternate ending, I just wish it could have been in there. Because there is an alternate ending which I think is way better than the theatrical ending, and for that I just thought, now you see, this is where Keanu Reeves comes back into his own, he's going to get revenge and shit, and I'm thinking that could leave it open for a potential sequel, even though I can't really see a sequel happening to this film. I think it's good as it is, just a standalone film, and I thought the cinematography on this was good. I thought that Keanu Reeves did a great job in this with his supporting cast, Ana de Armas and Lorenza Izzo. I enjoyed this film. I would watch it again. I thought this was okay and stuff. And it was probably enjoyable because it was on for a few hours, but it's it didn't feel like that long. So, let me see. With all that being said, I'm going to give Knock Knock I think I'll give this a 3.5 out of 5. 3.5 out of 5 for Knock Knock. So that's been the big review. Now to the next part, the classic. And for the classic this month, I am reviewing John Carpenter's The Thing. Directed by John Carpenter, starring Kurt Russell, and of course, this is a cult classic. You know, you should know the story by now. You know, in a whaling station in the Arctic, there's an alien parasite that takes the shape of of its prey. Yada yada. I don't need to really tell you all that, because if you know horror the way I do, you will have seen The Thing. They even did a 2011 prequel film of the same name. Anyway, on with the review. So, what did I like about this one? I like this film a lot. I love the effects because it was so good for its time, given that it's not computer generated imagery. No, and not even remastered it like that either, which I'm glad they haven't, because, you know, I think the effects are brilliant as they are. They're good effects for its time. I also liked the acting in this, and I also like the mystery of the thing, how we don't know what its true form is, because even in the prequel we never get a proper good look at what it looks like. I also like Kurt Russell in this film. He did a great performance as well, you know, playing the hero in this film. And of course the film ends where it's like, you know, who is the Thing? Is Kurt Russell the Thing, or is the other guy he gave the bottle to the Thing? And there's a theory on that saying he put gasoline in there as a test. And of course, the Thing's body won't react to the same way humans would to gasoline and what have you. What else did I like about this film? You know, I like John Carpenter's cinematography. He did a great job directing this film. You know, any horror film that he does a great job of, because he is one of the best horror directors out there. You know, I mean, he gave us Halloween, for God's sake. So yes, The Thing, a true classic. You know, usually everyone that's a horror fan has seen it, or what have you. You know, it's just, you know, it's, everybody should know what it is. You know, shape-shifting alien, trust no one and that. You know, I also liked the prequel, how it tied in the loose ends with The Thing, and I like how this one, John Carpenter's The Thing, carries directly on from the 2011 prequel, which I thought was fantastic. This was one of these horror remakes that were way better than its predecessor, because this one is a remake of a 1950s classic called The Thing from Another World, and I thought this version was way better than the original. And it's usually hard to come across good horror remakes. I mean, there's some good horror remakes like David Cronenberg's The Fly. He did a great job of that one. But anyway, we're not on about that right now. We're on about this one, The Thing. So I recommend it to everyone who loves body horror and all that stuff. So, with all that being said, I'm going to give The Thing, I'm going to give it 4 flamethrowers out of 5. So, we go to the next part of the show now, which is the indie review. And for the indie this month, I'm reviewing It Follows. Written, directed by David Robert Mitchell, starring Micah Monroe, yeah, I think I'm reading it right. Kerry Gilchrist or something. Daniel Zovetto, Jake Wary, Olivia Cardi, and Lily C. Oh God, who gives these people these names? So this is a supernatural psychological horror film about an evil entity that is transferred by sexual contact. So Michael Monroe, she plays this woman, this young girl called Jay, and she goes on a date with this guy, and she's been on a few dates with him, and they decide to get physical, and they have consensual sex in his car, but then he gags her and ties her up and then breaks it to her that there's this thing, this entity that follows. It's slow and it's a shapeshifter, and the only way she can get rid of this is to pass it on to someone else, and if it gets her, it goes back to the person who she got it from, and so on and so forth. So what did I like about this? Well, it was quite original. I mean, I'd not really seen or heard of a film like this. I mean, I've heard of films about the dark side of sex and everything, but never have I seen one where it's like a demonic presence that follows you very slowly and takes different forms. This film, I had a theory on this, that this demonic entity is basically an STD, and this is all in her mind because the guy who she got it from drugged her or something. I'm not sure, but that's what it's about. That's what I think it's about anyway. That's just a theory of mine. I like the soundtrack to this film too. Had a very big 80s feel to it, and that I also enjoyed the well, I think that's pretty much it. Other than that, I found some other bits of this film slightly boring. Like, it was just like Michael Monroe's character running away from this presence, and that throughout the whole film, and getting paranoid and everything. So yeah, but of course, she passes it on to another guy who then decides to face it, but he gets killed, and then she passes it to another guy who's always had a soft spot for her, and then in the end it's sort of, let's get on to the dislikes about this film. So, because this is where I'm going in that direction, the dislikes. I didn't like the whole middle parts of the story. I thought they were a bit boring, a bit slow. I also thought that the ending was a bit dull. I mean, I really didn't like the ending. It just seemed to have ended abruptly. Also, I don't get what she was trying to do in the pool scene. Yeah, I didn't get that at all. It was a bit confusing for me. But again, I found it quite original. So, final thoughts and ratings. I thought this film was okay. Wasn't good, but alright. So, with all that being said, I'm going to give It Follows. I think I'll give this 3. 3 tied down to a wheelchair out of 5. 3 tied down to wheelchairs out of 5. So, that's been the indie review for this month. Now for the next part of the show, and that is on the shoutouts. This month's shoutouts go to the movie vlog, Bogeyman Ben, and the Bat Nerd. Be sure to check those channels out. They're all 3 are linked down below in the description. Check them out and be sure to tell them that I sent you their way. So, that's pretty much it for this month's Big, the Classic and the Indie. And that's it, the last ever one. So, hope you've enjoyed this series, as I have. It's been a long year, I think, doing all this. So, yeah. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and to hit the notification bell. And all my social media links, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, are all linked down below in the description. So be sure to check them all out. You can even join my Facebook horror group. So yeah, that's pretty much it for, the Big, the Classic and the Indie. So, until next time, don't have nightmares.